my Life Advantage brother, Dr. Dondee Nettles here, our Pro 9. He's one of my favorites, and just glad to have him here to share some wisdom with us. And Dondee, if you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Can you hear me, Rusty? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for, number one, for the invitation, and please forgive my tardiness. I was trying to get my internet up. We're having connectivity issues with the net that we have after our water heater blew up on New Year's Eve, and then on the 10th, our water softener filter blew. So we had extensive water damage to the sheetrock in our garage, and our kitchen, and our pantry, and our laundry room, and apparently it messed with the Wi-Fi signal throughout our web around the house, or the net around the house. So trying to get connected that. I didn't want to go on my phone because I wanted you guys to be able to see me. And I don't have any slides to share per se, but I really want to talk with you guys about what Rusty's asked me to talk about. And that is why is it that we should stay in a recruiting and enrolling mode? And quite frankly, we don't have to, but unless, of course, we decide to really take a look at what do we have our hands on? And let me explain that or quantify that for you. There's been no more time in human history than right now on the 31st of January of 2022, that more people are finding themselves in uncertain situations that it's never been this way before. There's never been a global population of people more uncertain than right now. And on two scales, two areas where they're the most uncertain. On their health, they're very, very healthy people that train every day, that work out every day, that eat good fruits, vegetables, that have a very good diet, that think optimistically, that do all of the things that we've been taught in how to pursue wellness, that are questioning, am I going to get exposed to something? Am I going to get a disease that could kill me? And it's just because of what they're listening to. And then there's other people that eat pasta constantly, eat TV dinners constantly, all the Halloween candy before the trick-or-treaters come to the door. They don't exercise at all, and they're not worried at all because they have faith in their body, even though they're not treating it correctly, because they're listening to a different story. And I'm not trying to be political here. I'm just trying to say that two people at opposite ends of the health spectrum have a very different outlook on if they get exposed to something, because they have a different mindset to begin with. And in other words, the internal narrative that they're telling themselves is positive and one of being victorious, regardless of what position they find their body in. And other people may be living in a very healthy body, but they feel potentially victimized because of their belief system. I'm not saying one is wrong and one is not. I'm saying we have the choice. And then on the other side of that, finances. There's some pretty harsh statistics out there with regard to finances, with regard to jobs, with regard to employees, and with regard to certainty of employment. There's never been more uncertainty in employment right now on the 31st of January, 2022, because other people have decided that certain things are necessary and certain other things are not necessary. And if your job is considered one of those things that's unnecessary, you no longer have one. And if you have a job people consider are necessary, then you still have yours. But there's uncertainty, to say the least. And all I wanted to do is set that stage that we are living in a time where more people looking for certainty. If you any fans of Tony Robbins, one of the 6 things that we have, 6 basic needs, the first one is certainty. We need to have certainty that what we're doing is making a difference, or what we're doing is contributing to what we want it to contribute to. And there's the other side of that, the uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. In fact, there's more uncertainty now than ever. But for the people who are living in an uncertain world, yet they want certainty, what options do they have? Network marketing is a significant option. Wellness-based products to arm your body and equip your body to pursue and express its own wellness is a very, very enticing thing for people who've never heard our story before. So why should you be and why should you remain in the enrolling and recruiting mode? Well, if you want to make a difference, even if it's just your own immediate family, you want it to extend beyond that, maybe your neighbors. I'm actually in our media room where we do our podcast, and I'm looking out through this window right here, and I'm looking at our neighborhood. We have amazing neighbors. We have amazing neighbors that have become beyond neighbors, they're friends. So if I go out on Monday night to take my garbage cans out, which I'm going to do tonight, most of my neighbors kind of work in the same spectrum. They're all 9-to-5ers. And so usually within about half hour to 45 minutes, most of my neighbors are going to bring their garbage cans to the curb like I am. I choose to go out there at that time so that I can say hello to them, because I can go take my garbage can out at any time of the day because I work from home. I'm also kind of like neighborhood watch person, but I make relationships with, they all know what I do. They all know what Marcy and I do, because every Christmas time they get a bag, a decorative bag with our True Science skincare cream in it, with some fresh cut oranges, some fresh cut lemons, some whole cloves, and some cinnamon sticks, and some directions on how to make your own potpourri. We give them gifts. We're the potpourri family. We're the family that's always home. We're the family that looks out for the rest of the people in our neighborhood. So when somebody always comes in out, hey, what do you guys do that allows you to be home all the time? Now, I'm knocking on their door saying you have to buy a Tri-Synergizer, but we are definitely open when they come asking. And we have 3 neighbors that I can see just right out my window that are customers of ours, because they have needs that we have remedies to, and we're choosing to be the neighbors that are here, the neighbors that care, and the neighbors that make a difference, because that's our choice, and it extends way beyond our own neighborhood. But some of them are, and then we have over here, we have Dorothy and Greg. Dorothy's a stay-at-home mom. She's really intrigued by that we make money from home by helping people around the world live at a more healthy level than they're currently living. That's pretty enticing to her yet, but she still hasn't overcome her social media phobia yet. But she will. And why do I tell you that? Because no matter how you look at your LifeVantage business, whatever your ID number is, whether it's 6 digits like mine, 7 digits, or 8 digits, whatever sequence of numbers it is your permission to change the world, period. That is magnificent in its scope of possibilities. You have your ID number gives you permission to change the world. The question is, how significant is that change going to be? And how significant are you going to pursue that ability to make that change? So I would only tell you, and I'm glad Rusty asked me to talk about this, because it's only relevant if you want to make a difference. Now, making a difference is one thing. How big is the difference you can make? Pull out the income disclosure statement and start at the top in the 3rd column from the left, average monthly commissions, start there. That's the minimum. And then all the way to the bottom, that at present is the maximum. And we don't even have the next column because we don't have any presidential master pro 10s yet, but that is a potential. So if it's just from a financial point of view, if you look at Pro 3, and for those of you who are new, I don't know what your rank spread is on here. I'm assuming there's some brand new people. There's some people that are working their way through the ranks. And I know there's some elite people that are on this call. But if you just look at that one metric, the average income of our ranks, and you look down those numbers until you find the one that would allow you to do this. Take your stress of life and just go and relax and exhale peace and exhale calmness, knowing that every one of those dollars, whether it's 3 digits, whether it's 4 digits, 5 digits, or 6 digits, every single number there represents a human life that is better than before they talked to the person who got them involved. So if you were brought up like I was for a lot of my life, that people that are rich are filthy rich and they're bad people, and all they're doing is looking to get over on you, and that's how they get rich, is rich people get over on people that aren't rich. That's what I was led to believe by one side of my family. And I don't need to say which side, but my father was an entrepreneur and didn't believe in that. So you can tell maybe what side that came from. And it wasn't true. It was their truth. And then later in life, my mom became an entrepreneur, and that wasn't her truth any longer either. But that's how she was raised. In the beginning, that's how I was raised. But I realized money is just a tool. Money is just a tool to bless people with, to allow them in the receipt of that tool to live a higher caliber of life than before they received it. So when you're looking at our income disclosure statement, whatever that exhale number is for you, that allows you to live a higher caliber of life with more peace and calm, and knowing that every single dollar in that in that amount is earned that you are earning or potentially will earn is a single life changed for the better. Because, and I'm just going to start with the frame of reference of New Year's resolutions. And if you guys know, like 14 days ago, on the 17th of January, is National Ditch New Year's Resolutions Day. Why do they even have a National Ditch New Year's Resolutions Day? Because most people who make them never achieve them, because most people never quantify them and attribute or attach them to their caliber of life that they want to change, which is why 17 days into a new year, it's okay to say, screw it, I'm done pursuing my New Year's resolutions because I wasn't going to achieve them anyway, because they made them about themselves. They didn't make them about other people. But I think it's sad that January 17th is National Ditch New Year's Resolutions Day. Well, we're 2 weeks past that. For people that are pursuing it, there's two ways that they're focusing on: better health and better finances. Every single year, pre-COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, the two most common New Year's resolutions are going to be about better health and better finances. And guess what our LifeVantage opportunity offers? Better health and better finances. So if you don't know that yet, maybe you're brand new and you've never heard this before, or maybe you have some kind of lack of belief in yourself that you could actually do this, or maybe you don't really believe in network marketing yet. You still think it's a pyramid scheme, but your neighbor or your cousin or your uncle convinced you to help them and you're here reluctantly. That was me. I wanted no part of network marketing because I saw no benefit in it, and I never saw anybody that ever tried it that made any money or did what they were told it was going to do, until I was at a place in my life when I wanted to be daddy more than I wanted to be doctor, and I had no ability to. And then I trusted some people and I got involved in LifeVantage, and less than 2 years later, I sold my practice. And I've been a stay-at-home dad for the last 11 years because of LifeVantage, because I'm helping people who want better health find it, and I'm helping people who want better finances find it. And we do it with a publicly traded NASDAQ. Unlike any other opportunity in network marketing history, we do it with that. So that's why you should stay in. That's why you should continue to recruit and continue to enroll. Because if you don't, here's the risk. If you don't, there are people right now on their knees praying that their February tomorrow isn't like their January, and that their 2022 is not like their 2021 and their 2020 and anything before COVID. They're praying for some kind of relief from all of this. And if you stop sharing this information and you stop reaching out and start attempting to help people, they may be the one person that you would have been the only one they had the ability to hear this from, and you didn't tell them, and something catastrophic happened in their life as a result. I've had 3 people past 11 years, personals that we've enrolled, come and thank me for sharing this information because they had already decided how and when they were going to end their life. And because of this, they didn't. And that brings me to tears, because I had to get over my own insecurities, guys. I'll be fully transparent. I hated network marketing, not because I'd ever done it and failed, because I'd never met anybody who'd ever done it and succeeded. And when I was in private practice, in my chiropractic practice, I had a sign above the doorknob on my door to my practice that said, no soliciting. And it mentioned 2 companies by name. One, I don't need to mention their names, but one rhymes with Jalaluca and the other one rhymes with Bonavie, because those were the 2 companies that were the most common in my area at the time. And I just put them there because those were the people that ignored the no soliciting sign before it ever mentioned them personally. And they still came in and tried to sell me their potions and their stuff. And frankly, pardon my expression, pissed me off because it wasted my time, until I got to a place when I read Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I learned about what a B quadrant business is versus an S quadrant business that I had, which was no freedom. I was a slave to my own practice, and my practice was very successful. And it wasn't an issue until I became a father. And then I had to choose serving my patients or being a daddy to my children. I couldn't do both. And I wanted to be a daddy more than I wanted to be a doctor. And LifeVantage gave me that. And as a result of that, it answered my prayers. So thank God Elam got over his insecurities and called my office, called a stranger who was on the radio and shared LifeVantage with, because literally less than 2 years later, I was selling my practice, canceling my radio show, and going home to be a full-time dad. And my daughter just turned 13, and my son is going to be 16 in 5 days. And I've been a full-time dad for 12 of my son's 16 years. And that blesses me more than anything. But it was because somebody cared enough to share some information with me, not having a judgment of how I would receive it or not, because I almost didn't. I hung up on Blue the first time he called, but thank God he called back. But it changed my life forever. So why should you continue to recruit and enroll? Because there's people out there that are on their knees in desperation, more so than they were when I got involved in 2009, because 2022 is starting out worse than 2021. And 2021 was the most unpredictable year in the history of human beings. And it was because of and it's not just here in America, it's global. And thank God we have a global solution to a global problem. It doesn't get better than that, guys. People all over the world that want better health, that just don't know where to get it. They don't know the difference between activation and supplementation yet. There's people all over the world that want better money, even if it's just $500, because they can't make their car payment now. And I have a friend right now that I tell you, he's parking his car in the backyard so that the bank doesn't come and get it because he's 3 months behind on his car payment. It's a $400 a month car payment, but he's been unemployed since July of last year. And he literally doesn't have the money to join our business, but he wants to so badly. We've talked about having garage sales. We've talked about putting stuff up on eBay and selling stuff. He just hasn't gotten to the point where his pain is bigger than his pride. His pride, unfortunately, is too big, which is why he parks his car in the backyard. But maybe when they come and take it and now he has to walk to work, which is about 9 miles away, things may change. And you never know. He's just not at 12 o'clock noon yet, but I know he's praying, and I keep reaching out. I'm giving you examples because those are examples in my life. I know all of you have examples too. But here's my challenge to you. Tell yourself that network marketing is the best profession in the world to make a difference, because I truly believe that it is. Tell yourself that our products, compared to every other network marketing product out there, are superior in what we do it well. Now, do we have an all-encompassing product line? No, we don't. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I buy products from other network marketing companies because we don't make dish soap. We don't make laundry soap. We don't make multivitamins. We don't make things like that. So I buy them from other network marketing companies because here's what I know. I would rather support my friend who has a side gig in another network marketing company than to tell him no and force him to go back to the cubicle and boss that he hates. That would be my ego getting in the way. Because do I think my company's better than his? Yes. Or hers. We buy from at least 4 different network marketing companies. Now, here's the challenge too. When we develop a product that replaces one of those, I'm going to start buying from my own store rather than theirs. That we haven't overcome that yet. But that's the challenge. Support a friend, support somebody who has a side gig. That's the best way to be a friend. And there's people that I know that would buy products from another network marketing company, but they're afraid to start their own business in a network marketing company. That's just nonsensical, but they have a story. They have product loyalty, and they've got excuses that they turn into stories. But here's, again, my challenge, and I want to be redundant. There's more people praying right now for remedies than ever before, and you have the solution in your hands that comes with permission from your ID number to remedy those and to change their outcome, to change their story, so that the 2023 story is not the same as the 2022. It's much greater as they start working their way down that income disclosure statement. And Pro 3 should be the first rank that you shoot for. First of all, get them enrolled, get them on subscription, and then get them at Pro 3 as quickly as possible. It solidifies their at least 5 years in the business, because now commissions are paying for their subscription every month rather than having it be an expense. They're actually making money. Their bodies are activated. They're starting to have an experience on products unlike any other in the industry. And once they start thinking differently and their body starts working differently, they're going to be coming from a new starting point, because that starting point is going to be much further along advanced than it was when they started our products. I've been on our products for 12 years, and I'm in a much different place than I was 12 years ago when I started. I think clearer, my body's expressing itself better, and I'm getting better with age like a fine wine. That's how it works when your bodies are activated. and I'm making a better difference, a greater difference in the world financially, not just my family, but every single person we bring into our business, that we teach them how to make a side gig work and turn it into either part-time, full-time, or big time. As they start going down that income disclosure statement, it's a car payment. Let's replace your car payment and have this business pay your car payment. Then let's have it pay your car payment and your car payment insurance. Then let's have it pay for your car payment, or your car insurance and your homeowner's insurance. Then let's have it pay for your home, and start working away and whittling away things that are causing stress that they have to go to work for. Because if people have all these bills, that's the only reason they're going to work. People don't go to work because they love to work. They go to work because they have to work. But what if you could go to work because you want to work, because you love to work, and you're helping people in the process? That's unlike most people's job, which is why 70 to 80% of people hate their job. Not just dislike, but hate. 70 to 80% of employees polled hate their job. You have a solution to that. And it starts with an elite pack, or it can start with a premier pack, but it starts with an ID number in LifeVantage, and it goes from there. And this is the other thing. It's not fictitious. It's not theoretical. We are a publicly traded company with our reputation on the line. Our income disclosure payment or statement is based on real numbers of real people making a real difference in a real world that needs a difference. That's why you should continue to enroll. And that's why you should continue to recruit, because you're giving people the answer to their prayers. And if you don't look at it that way, then maybe it's hard for you maybe it makes you anxious to think about enrolling or picking up the phone and making a call or sending somebody a text or whatever, or sending somebody a Facebook message or a DM on Instagram, whatever it is. If you take it away from your own insecurities on being judged and think of it this way, well, maybe they're going to think I'm crazy. Maybe they're going to think I'm greedy. Maybe they're going to think I just want to sell them stuff. Maybe all of those are true. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's just a story you're telling yourself to excuse yourself from having to go through the work, whatever it is. But think about this. What if you don't tell them? And what if they find out from someone else? And then they found out you knew when the person who told them about it. You knew, and they go, well, you're in this company? How long have you been in this company? And then you say, well, since whatever date it is. And it was before they heard about it from the other person. And they look at you dead in the eyes and go, I thought I was your friend. You knew some of the stuff that was happening in my life, and you didn't tell me? How is that going to make you feel? Compare that feeling to the feeling of maybe they're going to think I'm crazy. Maybe they're going to think I'm just greedy. Maybe they're going to think I'm trying to sell them stuff that they don't need. I think if you look at it and you compare fictitious or the what if versus the very real, how you would defend yourself if they come to you. Why didn't you tell me about it? I would have much rather heard it from you and been in your business than this other person who was a stranger I met in a coffee shop. I'm just telling you the real story, because how do I know that? Because I've been there. I've been on that receiving end. I felt that pit in my stomach when my friend was looking at me in the eye saying, why didn't you tell me about this? Because I was scared. Because I was scared he was going to judge me. Because we've known each other since we were kids. I was scared he was going to make fun of me because it's not a real job. I was scared he was going to think there was something wrong in my practice and I was failing as a chiropractor. All of that crap kept me from sharing information with a dear friend who judged me because I didn't. I wish I could go back and get over those insecurities, but that was a part of me being a new network marketer and realizing every one of my insecurities is preventing someone from getting their prayers answered. And I don't have the right to do that. Shame on me for taking that approach. So I don't know if you guys talk to yourselves that way, but that's how I talk to myself. If I have an insecurity, I immediately think about someone else. Am I going to let my insecurity rob that person of an answer, or am I going to get off my butt and get over my insecurity? Whatever it takes. And when you put someone else's welfare in the balance of your own insecurities, it usually changes the perspective if you allow it to do that. So Rusty, I thank you for asking me to talk with your group. I thank you for giving me what to talk about, because it's one of the biggest motivations I have and why I continue to recruit, why I continue to enroll, well, you can't recruit and enroll unless you invite. It's why I continue to invite. It's why I continue to get no's. And there's an awesome book out there called Go for No, that if you make no your challenge, then when the yeses come, when you reward your no's and the yeses come, it makes it so much easier. And it's just a little teeny twist, but for me, it worked because I judge myself too harshly. I judge myself about what other people are going to think of me if I do or don't do something, and I don't have that right, because their welfare, I don't ever want to put someone else's welfare and check it and balance against my own insecurities, because my own insecurities would always win until I made it about someone else. And that changed everything for me. So my insecurities are holding people back. My insecurities are stopping people from achieving their dreams. My insecurities are stopping people from getting answer to prayers. And I realized that my insecurities, and if I don't get over them, may cost someone their life. And that's not just their life. They have a whole family that will look at that. And if their family at their funeral goes, you knew this and you didn't tell my friend or my deceased family member, and it could have changed everything, I don't ever want to have that discussion. That thankfully has not ever happened, and I don't ever want it to. But that's just some things I wanted to give you guys for perspective to share with you. We have the most amazing company in network marketing history. We have the most amazing products for making a true difference in people's lives, in their bodies, scientifically, in network marketing history. And I truly believe we have the most lucrative compensation plan in network marketing history. And it's not just my opinion. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and we have a lot of people in our corner. If you have an ID number, you have the answer to someone's prayers. And if you have an ID number, you have the answer to someone's dreams. I'm just asking you to take ownership of your ID number, wear it with pride every day, and go out and share this amazing opportunity and these amazing products to people, because they're praying right now more than they ever have. Let January be past. Let tomorrow, February, be the start of getting over yourselves, getting over your insecurities, or challenging yourselves to go deeper into this story, because this product line, this company flat out saves people's lives and helps them co-write their destinies that they were created to write. And I'm going to end with this. My favorite quote in the whole world is from Mark Twain. And it says, "The two most important days of your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." Let this company be the author of that second day, why you were born, because it has nothing to do other than change the world in a very significant way when you take ownership of that. So Rusty, thank you for inviting me on. Hope gave some value to your team today. It's been an honor, but thank you so much, my friend. I truly appreciate your trust and confidence in me to share with your team.
We really appreciate it, Dondee. You should see the chat. I've been reading it, just all the different, all the heart, love for your honesty and sharing from your heart. It's amazing. I don't know if medical professionals have it harder than everyone else, but I recognize that same issue in the beginning for me too. It just seems to be an ego thing, and so I get it. One person asked, "What was it that Blue asked you the second time that made you willing?" Like, was there something that he said, or was just you're open? How was that?
Well, he mentioned the word Protandim, and kind of a little backstory. So I was on Protandim for about 3 months. Now I'm talking Protandim RF2, which was the only product that LifeVantage was putting out at that point. I was on that product for about 3 months when I got the call from Blue. I was using it in my practice. I had about 30 of my patients that were on it. And it was given to me by a friend of mine who was a naturopathic medical doctor to help with the bruises that he inflicted on me in racquetball court. And he says, "Hey, you're going to need this." He didn't tell me about NRF2 activation because, quite frankly, LifeVantage didn't know about NRF2 activation as it relates to Protandim at that time. We knew it reduced oxidative stress, but my friend also knew that inflammation and bleeding from the bruises he inflicted on my eyebrow and on my elbows from that racquetball annihilation that he put me through that day, that it would help my body. And I started taking it. And 5 days later, I was involved in a flag football tournament where I ruptured the ACL in my right knee. And 5 days after that, I was able to bend my knee at 90 degrees. So, and which is about 6 weeks after a typical injury like that. So I witnessed what it was doing in my body. It wasn't called the little yellow pill. It wasn't called the little yellow activator. It wasn't called Protandim, the NRF2 synergizer. It was a dusty brown bottle with a light blue label, just said Protandim on it, which that's not even a word. And so I didn't take it because the bottle looked great. I took it because he told me to, and I saw what it was doing in my body. So I thought, well, if it could do this in a fresh knee injury, what could it do for chronic problems in my patients that are coming to me? And I took out 5 or 6 patients, put them on about a 6-week trial, and started noticing miraculous results with them. Very different than mine, but I started seeing totally different results with reducing oxidative stress, but it was manifesting different in these people. And then I went and put about 30 more people on it and started seeing very similar results in a lot of different categories. And then Blue heard me on the radio. I had a radio show at the time, and he heard me on the radio. They were talking about launching it in Phoenix. He gives me a call out of the blue. Blue calling me out of the blue. I didn't mean to say that, but that's how it worked. And I was open. I mean, I wasn't open to network marketing, and I hung up. And he called back the second time and he goes, hey, before you hang up again, I want to tell you about an awesome product that we have called Pro Tandem. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm thinking, God, please don't let it be the same Pro Tandem, because this is, he mentioned they were going to convert from retail into network marketing. I had the sign on my door that mentioned those other companies. I wanted no part of network marketing. But I said, he mentioned Pro Tandem, and I said, okay, wait a second. And I confirmed it was the Pro Tandem that he was talking about, the same one I was taking and that about 35 of my patients were taking. And I'm like, okay, but I had been praying. This goes back to answering prayers. I had a 3-year-old son and a newborn daughter that never saw daddy. I heard about my son's first words from my staff. I heard about his first steps from my staff. I didn't witness his first steps, and I didn't hear his first words, and it wasn't daddy. But it was, I don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't daddy, and I didn't care about that. I cared that my staff knew about it before I did. That's not what parenthood's supposed to be like. And I was like, I'm not doing this with my daughter. I'm not doing this. And so I was praying for some way that I could be daddy and doctor. And Blue calls. And I'm like, could this be it? Well, I got over the first hurdle, which was the products, because I was already, the product one, I was already using it with phenomenal results. So I didn't have to get over that hurdle. I now just had to get over the brain damage that I had about network marketing, such that I put a no soliciting sign on the front door of my practice. And so they offered to fly me to Salt Lake City. I met with Dr. McCord. I asked him, and I shudder when I tell this story because I was very disrespectful to Dr. McCord. I called him not serious. I just called him Joe. I didn't call him Dr. McCord. I said, so Joe, if this product is so good, I had an ace in my sleeve. I didn't tell him I was already using the product, and so was my patients. It's like, if this product is so good, why did you put it in a tablet instead of a liquid? A tablet is so much less bioavailable. And he looks at me in a very paternal way, and he put his arm on my shoulder and he goes, son, let me explain the difference between supplementation and activation. And I don't need to get into the story, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This makes so much sense. That's why it did in my knee what it did in 5 days, which normally takes the human body 6 weeks. Oh my gosh, antioxidant enzymes. I didn't know we could make them. I mean, I didn't really say that in the ABC primetime video. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So that day I left as distributor number 114 in the company. So my 6-digit ID is 000114. I was one of the first 150 people to join this company because Dr. McCord was very respectful to me when I was not respectful to him, and explained to me why I had the experience in my knee. And this is the best kept secret in network marketing. And I still believe that 12 years later, it is still the best kept secret. But now we've got 2 more. We have NRF2, NRF1, and NAD. Now I think it's going to go in reverse order, because NAD, because of keto, has a lot of attention. And because of intermittent fasting has a lot of attention. They just haven't made the connection that our product produces 50 times the results that the ones that the keto people take fit in just 24 hours. They have 2%. If you look at our NAD statistics, when it says other products, the 2% increase in NAD, that's the other products that are out on the market right now, True Niagen and Elysium Basis. Great products, both developed by Dr. David Sinclair, one of the most brilliant minds in the world, but 50 times less effective than ours. It's just a matter of time before the world knows about it. And in 2017, the Benjamin Franklin Award, if you guys have ever heard of the Elliott Cresson Medal that Dr. McCord won in 1997, the modern day version of that same award, it just got the name change. It's no longer the Elliott Cresson Medal. It's now the Benjamin Franklin Award. Dr. Douglas Wallace, from the 9-minute ABC primetime video, the guy from UC Irvine with the glasses, that guy won the award in 2017. for the discovery of, wait for it, mitochondrial DNA. We have a product called Protandim NRF1, which deals with mitochondrial DNA. So in the most prestigious scientific awards in life sciences, from the Benjamin Franklin Award given to Dr. Douglas Wallace for mitochondrial DNA, and the year before in 2016, the Nobel Prize in Medicine, was issued to Dr. Osumi from Japan for the discovery of autophagy. That's where the keto diet came from. That's where intermittent fasting came from. Autophagy is a really interesting word to mean cellular cleanup. NAD production because of sirtuins increases cellular cleanup. So we've got that too. It's just a matter of the world to find out. RF2, amazing, got us on the map, but between the three discoveries, it's awesome, but it's probably going to be the one that people raise the eyebrows least over. They haven't heard of the other two. So we are just sitting in such a strategic place to change the world when the world really realizes the solutions that we have out there, and that time is coming. It is coming, and it's coming. My prediction in the next 5 years, NRF2, NAD, and NRF1 are going to be household names because of what they do, because the scientific community has already awarded the scientists for their discoveries. It's now just for the lay public to catch up on the significance of those discoveries and realize there's herbal, non-pharmaceutical, non-side effect remedies out there that we have that we can take control of. Oh, and by the way, we can create a side hustle, sharing it with the world. That's amazing. That's the best kept secret in network marketing history, if you ask me.
You just got me excited, Dondee. I think everyone else is also excited. Just that confirmation right there. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I know we've gone over. Angela, are you still there? Can you just share real quick your husband's story real quick as we close up? You're there, Angela. Can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, how do you follow that? Oh my gosh. I just want to kind of go, great, man. I want to take notes, go back and listen again. That was amazing. So my husband has been taking the activators for a few years, and he's kind of taken it. He doesn't have a story. He's seen the difference in me, and he's been like, yeah, okay, and not really taking it, religiously, every day. So my husband's in the nuclear industry, and he works super long, hard hours. So he's away from home a lot. He works 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. They gear up to that. He works 5 days a week, then it's 6 days a week. Then it's like they hit it hard, like 2-3 months of, 7 days a week. That's everybody. That's no break. So one of these jobs, it was really hard, a lot of stress on him. And he called me one day, and he was having some issues, and I could hear over the phone. And he basically just destroyed his body. So he all of a sudden developed hypertension. He was in a diabetic ketoacidosis, refusing to go to the ER. His blood sugars were higher than the machine would read. And he suddenly got serious about Protandim. When he came home, I hardly recognized him. He was 20 pounds lighter. He looked like he was 90 years old. He had no energy. And his voice, he had no energy to even really speak. He was like whispering. So I took him to the doctor. His hemoglobin A1C was 14. That's about as high as you can go. And he did not want to do insulin. He told the doctor he was going to try to turn this around. And so he got on some diabetic medicine. He was on 2 diabetic medicines. He was on the diabetic medicine and high blood pressure medicine. So he comes home, he stays home for a few months. 3 months later, he goes back to the doctor and he's got it down to 7. He's cut it in half. And the doctor said, I was prepared to put you on insulin. Like, I've never seen this in my practice where somebody can take it from that high to 7. So normal is roughly around 5. So, but he's just kept doing this, and now he's doing really good. He's off his blood pressure medicine. He actually just quit his diabetic medicine about 3 weeks ago, and he's been doing really good. I mean, he's been serious taking our product, every single day. So it works, it helps. I mean, and this is a man who comes from a mother and father who have serious diabetes and heart issues. He's the youngest of 5. Everybody has had heart attacks. His mother, father are passed away. He's got 2 siblings that died of heart attacks. He's got another one who's had a heart attack and bypass surgery, diabetes, and blind. He's his next brother, who is 16 months older than him, has diabetes. He had stents in his heart already, and he's had a stroke. And Paul's the healthiest one. So, doing that to his body, he really set himself up for complete collapse. And I'm just really grateful for our product because it did save his life. And so
Thank you, Angela. We're
that's
glad for
Paul's story.
Paul. Glad for Paul for sure. And I know, like Dondee was sharing, there's people that we haven't shared this with that we need to, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
thank you for sharing. Thank you, Dondee. Thank you, team, for taking the time out of your busy schedules to pay attention. Thank you for those who watched the replay. Thank you so much.